Victorian era. We picture stern faces, elaborate dresses, and rigid rules. A world frozen in black and white. But if you look closer at their photographs, really look, you start to see things that are strange. Things our modern eyes can't quite understand. Because these photographs are keeping secrets. Secrets about love, about grief, and about traditions so bizarre they feel like they can't possibly be real. Our first secret begins with a photo that looks, well, honestly, it's just creepy. To understand what's happening here, you have to remember one thing. Early cameras were incredibly slow. To take a single picture, a person had to sit perfectly still, sometimes for several minutes. Now, imagine you have to photograph a child. It's a nearly impossible task, and so the Victorians came up with a solution. They hid the mothers right there in the shot. But you have to remember another, much more tragic detail of the era. Child mortality was incredibly high. And for many families, this strange, ghostly portrait was the only photograph they would ever have of their child. This isn't a story about ghosts. It's a story about a mother's love, literally hidden in plain sight. But sometimes, not even a hidden mother could help. Because the child they brought to the studio was already gone. To our modern eyes, this is perhaps the most shocking secret of Victorian photography. This is a post-mortem photograph. Today, it seems unthinkable, morbid, but in the Victorian era, it was normal, and most importantly, it was considered an act of profound love. Photographers went to great lengths to make these images feel as lifelike as possible. Children were often posed as if they were merely sleeping. Sometimes they would even paint open eyes onto the finished photograph. This wasn't an attempt to deceive. It was a desperate attempt to preserve a memory, to freeze in time the image of a loved one as they wanted to remember them. Not as sick, not as gone, but simply asleep. It's a disturbing tradition, yes, but it isn't about death. It's about memory and the desire to defeat being forgotten. This obsession with memory and the desire to connect with those who were gone gave rise to one more, perhaps the strangest phenomenon in Victorian photography. spiritualism. And spirit photography. In the 1860s, a photographer named William Mumler claimed he had accidentally captured a ghost on film. His Boston studio was flooded with people, and Mumler gave them what they wanted. His most famous work is this one. It shows the widow of President Abraham Lincoln, Mary Todd, with the ghost of Lincoln himself, gently resting his hands on her shoulders. How did he do it? It was, of course, a trick. Mumler was a skilled fraud, using a simple technique called double exposure. He was put on trial for fraud, but his clients, even knowing it might be a hoax, wanted to believe. They weren't paying for a photograph, they were paying for comfort. This secret is about how desperately we want to believe that the people we've lost are still with us. Hidden mothers. Sleeping children. Fake ghosts. Victorian photographs are more than just pictures in an old album. They are windows into a world obsessed with memory, a world full of love, grief, and the desperate desire to hold on to those they were losing. And they remind us that behind every old picture, there's always a human story. Which of these stories surprised or moved you the most? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to The Animate Past for more history brought to life.